right here, right now, on your favorite channel.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Within the last couple of weeks, I have revisited making my iRacing graphics look better using the GeForce Experience. GeForce Experience is a visual editing program that is attached to NVIDIA graphics cards. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you probably already have it on your system. If not, you can search for GeForce Experience and find the download. I will include the link to the download in the video description. So you install it, sign in, register, and all that happy horse shit. The next thing you do is you need to go to your documents or my documents, look for the iRacing folder, open it up, and then open up the core.ini file. At the very top of this file, you will see connect sockets. By default, it will equal 0, which means it's not active. Change the 0 to a 1. And now GeForce Experience can communicate with the iRacing game. It's very important to understand that iRacing is not a supported game within the GeForce Experience. However, it will still work once you've made this change. By the way, if you have an AMD card, it's my understanding that they have the same kind of software program or whatever you want to call it, so you'll have to do some research on your own if you have an AMD card, but it's my understanding it works pretty much the same way. I have had issues using the UI with the GeForce Experience. However, everything seems to load much better from the website menus. So I'm going to go to the website and load up a replay. You will see notifications from GeForce in the upper right hand corner. Hit Alt-Z on your keyboard to bring up the main menu, and then I have found out that I need to let the game progress a little beyond 15% loading for some reason or other for it to work. Then I hit Alt-F3 to bring up the game filter menu. So you're in iRacing, the first thing you're going to want to do is click on the Options tab and then come down to your graphics. Up here under the display options, I don't know how long this has been around, maybe it's been around all the time, I just noticed it. But you got two in-game filters right here that you can mess with. I'm going to take I got a -10 on gamma and -5 on brightness. Look at the background here as I change these. I'll go to 0, up to 0 on both of these. Okay, now 0, the gamma, this looks a little grainy to me, and so that's why I took it down to what I felt looked pretty good, which was 10. Okay, and then here's the brightness, you can see that in the background, and I took that down, as we know, down to about 5. I kind of consider this a good base. You can kind of adjust these as need be within the game here, but I just think that, you know, on a bright sunny day, let's get out of here real quick. Let me put this right back to where it was. Okay, you can see up here it's 13:23, so that's 1:30 in the afternoon. Good sun, not a lot of overcast, got some sky and all that. So this is the naked iRacing right here. I'm going to hit Alt F3 and bring up the game filter. Now you can see here it's turned off, and you have 3 pits here, if you will, 3 slots in which to configure your filters. So I'm going to click on number 1, which I already have filled out, and you can see the change right there. We'll go off, on. Okay, I have brightness and contrast, and then color. You would add these by clicking on the positive up here and then selecting them, and then that would fill in this left-hand menu. So like slot number 3 here, which I have nothing in it, going to click Add Filter, Brightness and Contrast, Add Filter, Color. And then you can expand these, whoops, excuse me, you can expand these and then get into each individual setting in these two. Come on, go down, there we go. All right, so we're going to go back over to mine. So over here under Bay 1, I have Brightness and Contrast and Color. Got these from Dave Sampson over at his website and kind of worked off what he had. Everybody's monitor is going to be different. Okay, so you see that I have exposure at 10%, contrast -64, highlights 53%, shadows 3%, gamma -16. Under the color, tint all the way off, tint intensity all the way off, temperature -7.5, vibrance 44.7. So if you keep your eye over here on the sky and this general middle area, I'm going to mess with the exposure. I mean, look at that, that's huge. So we'll go back to my 10%, and I'm using the mouse here, but you can do fine tunes with the right and left arrow keys. Oops, I was on contrast there. Exposure. Gonna go down to 11. Okay. Contrast. Have it 64%. You know, you can just play with these sliders and get it to what you want, what looks good for you on your monitor. Highlights, shadows, and then the gamma. Again, down here in the color, everybody that I've seen, tint color all the way to 0, tint intensity, temperature. This is the one that really is the game changer here. I'm going to be using the left and the right arrow keys. Look at that sky turn blue. We can turn it almost underwater, and then we'll hitting the right keys, we're taking it all the way. There's some piss yellow. Yeah, that's what we're trying to get rid of. It's the color temperature here that really makes this thing work. There I am at my -7.5. The sky's probably just a little too blue. We could go up just a little bit if we want. All right, and then when you're done, come down here. Okay, then back up here, off. There's the plain Jane iRacing, and there it is with your changes applied. And click done. As you saw there are many options for these filters. You can make it look nighttime. You can make it look like the film was shot in the 40s, yada, yada, yada. You can just play around with whatever you want when you get into there. We're just trying to get iRacing to look a lot better than the piss yellow that it is when it's naked. You can use the numbers that I had there for my monitor as a starting point, but every monitor is going to be different. Along that lines, I didn't mention it, and neither has anybody in any of these YouTube videos that I've seen on the NVIDIA GeForce experience, is how do you have your monitor set up? Well, again, that's personal preference. You know, a lot of times we'll maybe use our iRacing computers for other things. Mine is a one and done. You know, everything that I do is on this computer. So I've got, you know, streaming, and I've got websites and all that. The monitor is set up in the reds and the blues and the greens, yada yada, and the contrast to what it works overall. So that's my base canvas that I'm working with, and I would suggest that you do the same with your monitor. And then, as I mentioned, you have those settings, gamma and brightness, in the iRacing graphics tab. Set that first before you do anything else. But I have found that the gamma and the brightness in the graphics tab under iRacing is a great little fine tuner when you jump in the cockpit. That way you don't have to be changing other stuff on the fly. That being said, we race under a whole lot of different conditions. In that second slot, that second bay, I didn't show it to you, but I have some settings that are adjusted off the first bay that work really good for nighttime racing. Again, when you jump in the cockpit, you're going to want to take a look at how everything looks, and then either use the in-game gamma and brightness settings, and you may even have to find that you come over to the F3 GeForce game filters and do some quick adjusting. Now, once you have one of those slots or bays filled and you've clicked done, that is supposed to stick with the GeForce experience and not require you to open it up for it to be applied. However, every time I start iRacing, I jump through the hoops in case I need to make some fine-tune adjustments. So it's the Alt Z key to bring up the main menu, you know, let the game load beyond 15% like I mentioned, and then Alt F3 to bring up the game filters menu. Alright, so that's the quick and dirty on using the GeForce experience to make your iRacing game look so much better for you. And that's a very important point. This program, of course, through the graphics card, is affecting the display. It's what you see. If you use OBS or other screen recorders that record directly from the iRacing.exe, you are going to get the naked iRacing on your recording because you're recording directly from iRacing. The GeForce experience only affects the display that you see. So if you want the recordings to look as good as what you're seeing on the display, you have two options. The first one is to record your display, and that's not too bad and too difficult for a lot of us. You got really good displays. I'm working on an old 32-inch TV, and it comes across for a while, and then I start to get jitters and stutters. Again, understand that I am not seeing these stutters as I'm racing. It's only in the recording because I'm recording this 32-inch TV's display. So how do you make your recording look as good as what you're seeing on the screen, whether you just provide in-cockpit recordings on YouTube or you do the external views? How do you make it look as good as what you're seeing? My next video I'll cover that using OBS and LUTS lookup tables, where we can change the filters on the OBS recorder to match what we're seeing from GeForce Experience on the display. Stay tuned for that one. Alright guys and gals, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you can take something from this video and put it to good use for yourself. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and hope to see you next time.